are the CIO. Your job is to empower, to blaze trails in tech, to keep the world connected, faster, using massive amounts of data to make it smarter, more productive, more adaptable, more secure. This is no simple task. Unless, of course, you've implemented Salesforce. With Salesforce, you have a trusted, compliance built-in, low-code, no-code platform, making it easy for anyone to create intelligent apps, lightning fast. Anyone. It's also the most comprehensive platform, from drag and drop to custom coding, giving dev teams time to handle the exponentially more complex projects. All while other departments reap the benefits through a single connected CRM accessed on any device. So teams like sales, service, marketing, and analytics are smarter and more predictive about the customer, who also, and most importantly, happens to benefit from all this with one-to-one experiences tailored to them. Plus, thousands of components and partner apps are seamlessly integrated, so you're covered from all angles. And it's mobile first, meaning you can run your entire business from your phone, wherever you are, on whichever trail you decide to blaze next. Empower everyone to be their best with Salesforce.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shannon Duffy, and I'm the SVP of Product Marketing for Salesforce's platform. So before I get started today, I want to show you the most famous of all Salesforce slides. This is our forward-looking statement slide, which is reminding you to make all purchasing decisions based on features that are currently in market. So I want to tell you about my journey getting to London on Monday. So I woke up, looked at my phone, and the first thing I saw was a notification from TripIt, which is a travel app that I use, that it was time to check in for my flight. So I went over to my airline app, checked into my flight, and I got ready to leave. So I kissed my husband and my kids goodbye, and I call an Uber to take me to SFO. And what's interesting about Uber is they know that when I take an Uber on a weekday morning, I'm most likely to be going to the airport on a business trip. So Uber actually filled that in for me. It said, it looks like you're going to SFO. Are you going to SFO? Click here. So I did. So I'm in the Uber, I'm on my way, and I get another notification on my phone. But this notification is a little bit embarrassing, because what this notification was telling me, it was from an app I use to order lunches for my kids at school, that I had forgotten to order them food. So every Monday they get pizza, but Mother of the Year right here totally had forgotten. But again, this app knew that. So it sent me a notification, hey, Kendall and Mikey are not going to have lunch today. Would you like to order lunch? So boom, right from my phone, I ordered them lunch, and my children were none the wiser that their mother almost forgot to feed them. Great move. Get to the airport, use my phone, use my app, get through security, and now it's time for me to do some work. So pull out my laptop, I start using Quip, I start collaborating with my team over here in London and then back at HQ. And I'm on my phone, I get some travel request approvals in my Salesforce One App, I approve them there. And then I get on the plane. And unfortunately, a lot of flights from SFO to London don't have Wi-Fi. So this was very upsetting to me, but luckily I had my iPad, and on my iPad I had 6 episodes of The Walking Dead. Now the reason I tell you that I was watching The Walking Dead, you're probably wondering why are you telling me this, is The Walking Dead is a show that I never thought I would watch. Never. Didn't think I wanted to see zombies and blood and guts and all that stuff. But I use Netflix, and Netflix was looking and analyzing my viewing behavior, and noticed that Walking Dead might be a show that I actually like. So it made the recommendation, I watched it, I loved it, downloaded, off I went. Get to Heathrow, use my Uber app again, get to the hotel, and again, use my hotel app to help check in with my loyalty program when I got there. So while my day might not seem particularly exciting, I think if you were to think about a day in the past week or so, your day was probably similar to mine. You were using apps on your phone. You were using systems, technology, to make your lives easier. And that's because modern apps are transforming the way we work and live. And if you look at the slide behind me, if you look at the examples I have right there, I have Deliveroo, I have Hive, and I have Westfield. None of these are traditional technology companies, right? You have food delivery, a shopping mall. But what's interesting about that is these companies, and all companies, are on a digital transformation. So no matter what your product is, what your service, if you're selling to consumers or you're selling to other businesses, it's not enough to just have a product anymore. You have to be building and using technology to create these connected experiences. And your users demand it. If you think about the way you use technology in your own life, you expect every single experience to be as good as your best experience. How many times have you been having some sort of interaction and been, why can't this be as easy as Amazon or simple as Uber, right? We all think that. And for you to provide that connected experience to your customers, you have to put them at the center of everything you do. Because your customer isn't going to know the difference between an interaction between your sales department, your service department, your marketing department. They look at it as one interaction from your brand. And the best way to put the customer at the center of everything you do is have all the data in one place. So you have all the data in one place and all the technology, and then you will build those amazing connected experiences. Now, I know many of you are in IT, and you know, just as I do, that that's not that easy, right? We talk about these amazing technology experiences, these amazing apps that know everything about me and use AI to predict what I need. But it's not easy. So if you look at this slide here, on the surface I have my customer, and she's happy. She has this beautiful, seamless app, this amazing experience. But underneath that is what I call the geology of IT. All the stuff that you have to worry about to make that happen, right? You have data, identity, trust and security, integrations. All of this stuff is what keeps you up at night, because it's not easy to do. The experience is easy. Getting there from a technology perspective isn't. And what makes this even worse is IT is struggling to keep up with this demand, right? Everyone wants an app. Your customers, your employees, they want that app, and they wanted it yesterday, right? So the amount of asks for this are just growing and growing. And this is compounded by the fact that there's not enough developers to build all these apps, right? There's more developer jobs open than there are developers in school right now, right? It's a huge issue. So how can IT do this? How can IT outperform these expectations? How can IT deliver these amazing experiences to our customers? Well, they can do it with the Salesforce Platform and the Salesforce App Cloud. The Salesforce App Cloud allows you and anyone in your organization to build apps with clicks or code. And when I say anyone, there's this concept of the citizen developer. Some of them are probably admins in your organization. And with the App Cloud, they can use Lightning, they can drag, they can drop, they can click their way to apps that your whole organization can use. And for apps that maybe need a little bit more work, a little more developer interaction, you can build apps with code, too. Code that your developers are already using and are comfortable with. And you've probably heard about Trailhead in the keynote. You're going to hear an amazing, amazing Trailhead story in our session today. But Trailhead helps everyone, both your admin and your citizen developers and your developers, learn how to build these amazing experiences. The App Cloud helps you build apps that are scalable and trusted with our trusted platform. And then you can extend these apps with our partners and our app ecosystem with the App Exchange. Now, when I say the platform, I want to be clear. I'm not just saying platform. The Salesforce Platform has rich features and tools that you can use to build these experiences. So at the bottom, I have trust and security, and I think you heard in the keynote this morning, trust at Salesforce is our #1 value, full stop. So when you build apps on the Salesforce Platform, all that great trust that we use to run Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, products that you're probably familiar with, is built right in. You don't have to worry about it. It just works. It's just there. The same with integration, right? I talked about the customer being at the center and needing all the data. We help you do that with integration tools. And then innovation and intelligence. Probably heard about Einstein today. The most amazing thing about Einstein and our platform is it's built right in. You don't have to worry about AI. You want to build smart apps? You can do it because it's baked right into the platform. The same with mobile. You build an app on the desktop, it's just going to work on mobile. These things you don't have to worry about, so you can focus on building those experiences for your customer. And finally, right at the top, again, I have that ecosystem. I have the app exchange. You don't want to build it. Someone else has probably built it. You can buy it. You want to learn? We have Trailhead. We have all the modules you need to learn how to get the most out of Salesforce. And I'm sure some of you probably have Sales Cloud, probably have Service Cloud. And so you can use App Cloud on the platform to extend these, but you can also extend apps to the rest of your business, right? Your HR department, you can have time off requests. Your finance department, you can have PO tracking. Any app that you need, you can extend your CRM investment with the Salesforce platform. Now, to tell you a little bit more about the App Cloud and the platform, please welcome my colleague, Adam Spearing.
Excellent. Thank you, Shannon. So welcome, everybody, and a big thank you for being here for this session, and also a big thank you for being customers. I hope today you find a lot of inspiration in what we're going to do. My name's Adam Spearing, and I have the pleasure of running the Salesforce platform across Europe, and I've been doing so for the last 5 years, and it's been quite an amazing journey. What I wanted to do today is explain to you a little bit about what makes the Salesforce platform unique, what makes it the highest rated, highest regarded platform for building applications. And really, there's kind of 3 areas that I'm going to touch on today. 3 things that I think we do that are pretty unique, that actually make so much success for our customers. The first thing we do is we allow you to build applications a lot faster than you would ever have done before. We also provide you an environment, as Shannon just mentioned, that's the most trusted in the industry, where you can build these applications in the knowledge that they're going to be safe and secure. And finally, we have an ecosystem of partners and other elements that allow you to really be super successful leveraging off of each other. Let's look at these in a little bit more detail. So first of all, let's talk about how do we actually help you build applications faster. Well, we do that through reducing the development cycles and how much code you need to produce. If you think about Salesforce was set up in the late 90s, 1999, and when we did this, we actually first built a platform. Salesforce is a platform. And there's kind of 3 types of applications that we have on the platform. First of all, we have our own market offerings around sales and service and marketing and commerce and many, many more that you all know about and have heard about today. And these applications are the ones that we curate, we provide to you, that you're able to take advantage of. We also have over 3,000 partner applications that are available to you, a broad ecosystem. And then finally, we have the applications you choose to build yourself. And there are, built on the platform today, over 5 million applications that do things as Shannon just described across all different lines of business, across all different kinds of organizations. Now, to me, what makes this really unique, and my career was started very early on as a developer, and I've spent my entire career looking for a technology like this. It is the only technology available on the planet that allows you to build applications with the full set of skills, with no-code skills, low-code skills, and proper developer skills. We have the ability to use these technologies for different people, different types of people in your organization to build these applications. And where it comes really uniquely into itself is when we start looking in a little bit detail at these. So right the way from Lightning, right the way through to Heroku. Salesforce Lightning is probably one of the most important releases we've made in the technology over the last few years. And what Salesforce Lightning really allows you to do is gain access to the ability to build an application with a mouse. And I literally had my 10-year-old son do that a few weeks ago. I got him to sit down, I showed him the Lightning Process Builder, I gave him the mouse, gave him an idea, and he was able, with a mouse, to build an application that actually worked on my mobile phone. I've not let him have a mobile phone yet. But you're able to do that. It is that straightforward to do. It's also very extensible. So within these great companies that we're working with, you can build extended functionality and make it available to those people, those citizen-type developers, and they exist in all of your organizations today. What is critically important, and what we will talk about later on, is how you make sure that is governed. This isn't a free-for-all, it's not the Wild West. You do have to have controls around that, and Salesforce helps you with it. But Salesforce Lightning is a critical component for those low and no-code developers. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the full qualified skilled programmers. That's where I used to be. I don't think I could do it nowadays. But we have a technology called Heroku. And the beauty with Heroku is it allows proper skilled trained program developers to use languages they're comfortable in to build the most engaging applications. I was with a customer yesterday, and they're building an application for 1.1 billion consumers across the planet using the Heroku technology. And that's really important because that scale is critical. We don't want you worrying about that scale. That's our problem to worry. You concentrate on building that beautiful app that engages those consumers, as Shannon described earlier. And security. That is critical. It is very important in everything we do. And with Heroku, we're able to run that in different instances to give you that data residency that you need in certain geographies. So the full range of capability. Something else we've been working on as Salesforce that we're very proud of is our Salesforce DX, the Salesforce developer experience. So we have spent a lot of time listening to our customers, listening to the things they wanted, listening to how they wanted us to evolve the product, and we have bring to market the Salesforce developer experience. This is what we're doing for developers. We are allowing you developers, you skilled trained programmers, to use the tools you like to use to build applications, giving you the choice to use things, to be more efficient in how you build the code when you need to. And what Salesforce DX allows you to do, it allows you to expose the metadata within Salesforce to tools you're familiar with. It allows you to do things like spin up what we call scratch orgs if you want to do some experimentation or allow somebody to build and extend your core systems. It also allows you to use common IDEs, integrated development environments, and the tools and technologies that you love and you operate on through the rest of your business and the rest of your organizations. So Salesforce DX is an incredibly important capability that we now have. The second area that I was going to talk about is trust, and Shannon touched upon this. It is the heart of our DNA. It is the currency we transact with you every single day, both through the way you interact with us, through the technology, and the personal engagements that we have with you when we meet. And that is really fundamental. And sitting inside Salesforce, as everybody is starting to become familiar, we only have one product. Really and truly, Salesforce has one product at the heart, one code base, one single metadata environment. So it's one product. But within that one product, we provide a lot of standard services, complex infrastructure services, network services, all this list of application services, all the kind of things that means when you go to build an application, you don't need to worry about any of this. You don't need to concentrate on any of this. Spend all of your cycles worrying about that. This is our responsibility. This is what we provide to you. And we upgrade this environment 3 times a year, seamlessly. Those 5 million applications I talked about, 3 times a year, we seamlessly upgrade the technology that sits underneath it, providing you with the latest capabilities, and you have to do nothing. The IT upgrade has become a pleasant experience with Salesforce. And what a lot of people don't realize is actually there's an incredible amount of rigor that goes behind this. We actually perform over 108 million individual tests on all of this stuff on every single release, so you don't have to. And I challenge you to come up with an application that is as rigorously tested as the platform within Salesforce. The other area, when we get into some highly regulated environments and when people want to go that little bit further, is we have a technology called Shield, Salesforce Shield. Salesforce Shield is built up of 3 components. It allows us to do encryption of data at rest so that you're able to extend the security that we already have. It allows you to perform something we call event monitoring, where you can spot anomalous behavior within your enterprise and act on it straight away. And it also provides the ability for you to audit that data over its history and keep it for extended periods. We see this very, very dominantly in certain sectors and certain industries, and the Salesforce Shield technology, as it says here, has billions of transactions running through this every single month. It's an incredible piece of technology that really extends the ability of what you're able to build on the platform. Identity, I think, is something that is starting to be more seriously looked at by most organizations. And as we build all of these great environments, I think the identity is becoming more and more critical. We have a technology at Salesforce called Salesforce Identity, which allows you to control all of that identity. It allows you to have access for the designated employees, decide which systems you're going to allow them access to, not just Salesforce, not just other cloud systems, but your on-premise systems as well. In fact, you can see a screenshot here. That is how we run Salesforce ourselves. That's how we use Salesforce, accessing it through dual-factor authentication to give you that access and control. But it goes beyond just your employees. It actually goes out to how do you want to interact with your partners? How do you want to identify them and allow them to see what you want them to get to? And then it goes into your customers. How are you going to identify your customers and allow them access? And it actually goes one step beyond there, because when we start getting into the world of IoT and we have thermostats on the wall, we need to know whose thermostat that is. And our identity technology allows you to even go to that level of integration into your environment. So you have these rich capabilities so that you can concentrate on building the applications, not on worrying about who's coming in and who's not. We also have, I think, the most unique ecosystem on the planet to help you. Our community is just incredible. And there's kind of multiple parts to this. On one hand, we have millions of developers all over the world who are able to build applications. Those developers sit within your organizations, within our partner organizations, our ISV organizations, and even a lot of contract organizations that are out there. We have an enormous community. When you start to build on the Salesforce platform, you can lean on that community to learn how to do it. I was at a customer presentation 2 weeks ago, and we gave the most amazing demonstration. I was in awe of the demonstration. And our solution engineer who was there was absolutely brilliant. Incredible presentation, incredible demonstration. And halfway through it, he said, you know, this is really strange because 18 months ago, I was a lawyer. And that's the power of the platform. He was able to learn Salesforce, use the platform to build amazing applications from being not formally trained as a programmer through using this community. On the right-hand side, you can see something here called Trailhead, and Shannon touched on this. Trailhead is a technology we built originally for ourselves because we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could educate our growing workforce? And we realized how good this was, and it's now available for you to learn how to use all of our technologies and how to engage. And I encourage you to go and look at Trailhead. Finally, we have our App Exchange, and we have some most incredible range of partners, over 3,000 applications on our App Exchange that allow you to do the most amazing things, from people like Fairsail and Financial Force, right the way through to organizations like DocuSign. And you can encapsulate these in your environment to help you build applications or solve particular business problems. So you're buying into not just some applications we provide, not just a capability, but a whole ecosystem that's there to help and support you. And I think I have probably one of my favorite examples to show you. It's a company that I've been working with ever since I've been here. For nearly 5 years, we've been working together, and that's Eli Lilly. For anybody who doesn't know, Eli Lilly is a global company headquartered out of the US and Basingstoke, and they have done the most amazing things with Salesforce. Let us show you a little film of what Eli Lilly have done. Roll the film.
140 years ago, this company was started by Colonel Eli Lilly, a man who had great conviction to bring medicines in a different way to meet healthcare needs in the communities, where there was a person who you could count on and trust. One of the things that we've continued to do throughout our time as a company is think about who the customer is and what they really need from us. The kind of partners that we need who are going to help us advance that are people who have the same passion about the customer.
Innovation is very important. It's one of the key pillars of what we focus on in IT here at Lilly.
It's about your product, it's about your science, but at the end of the day, if we don't meet the needs of the customer, then all the other stuff is irrelevant.
So the first thing we always have to do is say, what is that journey that patient's on? If we're going to create a great customer experience, we need to meet them where they want to meet us, how they want to meet us. And if we don't, we're going to be left behind.
Salesforce is linking us to an innovation platform that we can use to advance what we're doing and make life better for our patients.
We are developing apps that allow a customer to interact with our support program.
We can have a developer sitting alongside an end user, creating technology that they need in real time. So items that used to take 6 months or sometimes even a year are now being delivered within days.
We often talk about, is it quality or speed? No, it's both. Is it cost or timeline? It's both. Salesforce is enabling that to happen.
Having somebody in the room that is seeing this sort of digital development across industries and challenging our thinking is incredibly valuable.
With Salesforce, we can understand what are some of the most flexible, reliable, and secure platforms that we can use to really bring this kind of information together.
One of the great advantages that we have with the Salesforce platform is that we've been able to engage in a one-to-one customer journey where we can then tailor those services in order to produce the experience we're going after.
The capabilities we're developing on the platform are giving us data that would allow us then to be much more predictive and meet those customers at a point of need.
That's the critical piece for us, is that connected experience, that delight that you can produce for a customer is where Salesforce helps us.
We need someone to help us see where the world might be going so that we can be there when our patient shows up.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I'd like to invite up three wonderful trailblazers. Richard, Callum, and Jules, would you come up and join me on stage for a moment, please? So, Richard, we'll start with you, and then we'll move on to you guys in a second. But you've been working with Salesforce for a number of years now. Can you just explain to everybody here what you've been through and how it's gone, the journey you've been on?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see that video, I mean, you can't help it sort of be bowled over really by what we've achieved. But our journey really started when we put the customer at the center of everything we do. And in 2012, we concluded our global implementation of our CRM. I guess sort of rewrite. So we implemented Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Master Data Foundation, and Analytics. We did that in 2.5 years, and we rolled out to about 18,000 end users across the field and head office. And that really transformed our foundational operation and put us in a different position, one that we were really kind of in control of where we wanted to head to. And I think as part of that journey, we saw a lower total cost of ownership. We saw the scalability and the flexibility that the platform offered us. And that really got us thinking about our broader application development environment, how we were going about that, the technologies we were using. And that really got us thinking there's a different way to do this. And that really kind of kick-started our journey to Force and Heroku.
So what was that aha moment for you?
I guess there's a couple of things, and I'm going to try and make this a little bit more practical. I think the first thing is in the early days, we got some use cases that had sponsorship and funding, and we got the business and the IT guys in the same room. And I mean, there's one example I can think of where we built out a meeting management system in about 3 hours. Obviously not the full system, but we did a build it now.
Yep.
And that was a really powerful way to convert detractors and also sort of take that momentum forward, and really that sparked a program that's still running today, that we're driving a customer experience improvement journey. And then the second thing is we focused on the central capability. We built an organization that we call Cirrus. You can think of this as an emerging technology group. And we focused centrally on building capabilities and then pushing that innovation out to our business-facing IT groups, because that's where you know they really interface with the business. That's where the decisions are made, and they've got the opportunity to really drive adoption. And we pushed things like DevOps and Agile right to the edge, so they could really focus on speed and delivering what they needed for their customers. And I think the results probably speak for themselves. So in the last 2.5 years of our Force.com journey, we've got probably about 100 apps now on the Force platform. We've been doing Heroku for about a year, and we have close to 100 apps on that platform. But I think the most impressive things are the speed in which we deliver those applications, right? And that's one of the things you were calling out earlier. So we see about an average of about 7 weeks from ideation through to a minimum viable product where we are following Agile. And we've also kind of revolutionized with Agile and DevOps our delivery cadence. So we went from a monthly release 2 years ago to now where we're releasing on demand. And we now have releases that are probably 70 a month. And that transformation was quite an incredible journey.
That is spectacular. I'm now going to turn to these two guys for a very good reason. So let me ask you, first of all, we'll start with you, Callum. How long have you been at Eli Lilly?
Sure. So maybe to provide a little bit of context around this, we came in, we're university students, and we came in so that essentially we could stand up Cirrus Labs, which was an internal sort of software development team. And we've actually got the team here today. We've been here for 10 months. So yeah.
So you're all on placement from university currently. You're going back to your studies.
Absolutely, in just a month, so we'll be looking for a job.
And how did you find out about Salesforce?
Yeah, so we found out about Salesforce kind of when we joined Lilly. As a university student, we never really, personally, I never heard of Salesforce until I came to the hackathon for the developer role at Lilly. So they as a developer at Lilly, you have a week-long hackathon where you use Salesforce or Heroku, and at the end of the week, you have to make an app. You have to present on that app. At the end of it, you get a job out of it. So
that's a pretty good trade.
And maybe just add a bit of context here as well, just to help everybody understand. Because one of the things you're saying is, how do you bring technical competence into the organization, right? So Lilly has a
skills gap, absolutely.
Yeah, skills gap, yeah. So Lilly has a long-standing IT placement program. It's been in place about 30 years. And so for me, it was kind of an obvious thing to say, well, can we expand that and actually focus on a technical skill gap that we have, and actually then think about how do we fill that short term, but then how do we do that so it builds leaders of the future in that technical skills space. And we as Jules said, we went out to partner universities, we ran a hackathon, and we had these guys.
And how did you learn Salesforce, the technology?
Yeah, so we learned Salesforce the same way as most of these guys here, or through Trailhead. So Trailhead is a great way, as I'm sure everyone knows, kind of to learn the basics of Salesforce and build it up. And then we kind of got ourselves going a bit, so we learned for just trial and error. And then it got to the point where some of us were able to get Salesforce certified. I know Callum has, so if you want to say something about that.
Absolutely, and to reflect on that, it's been a journey. Nearly a year ago, we were doing this hackathon, as Jules said. We'd never heard of Salesforce. This isn't something that we'd covered in university. And now if we reflect on where we are today, we've got 25 applications in production. We've got around 2,500 users that are using those.
Through the applications you've built.
Exactly.
All through Learning Trailhead.
Exactly. And these are all sort of serious business processes, not just sort of minor apps. Some of these are standing up and external facing to our patients and customers.
Guys, listen, I'm in awe of what you're doing, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being customers, and thank you very much. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now to show you a little bit of what this might look like, I'm going to hand over to my esteemed colleague Dylan, who's going to take you through a quick demonstration. So, Dylan.
Great. Thank you, Adam. So I just want to give a quick kind of down meat and potatoes demo of how the Salesforce Platform and App Cloud can be used to build a custom application for employees. So I'm actually joined all the way in the back of the room by my senior demo engineer and builder, Shane McLaughlin. So hi, Shane. He's going to help me through this build process. Glad you could join us. So we talked about custom applications for customers, for employees. We're going to show you a couple applications now specifically for employees. Let's go ahead and switch over to the demo. So how many people here have an intranet for their company where they share information with their employees, or a SharePoint site where they share information with their employees, right? We had one too. I won't make you raise your hand, but how many of you are proud of your SharePoint and your intranet and it's updated daily and weekly, right? Not many hands would go up. Well, we have a number of customers who are building applications to replace simple custom intranets. So this is a modern-day intranet right here. And this is for a small UK company. They have moved their intranet into what we call concierge. Rather than searching through trees of information, you have a simple search bar. And you can use that search bar to find any information you need as an employee stored in Salesforce, surfaced intelligently for you right inside of that concierge custom application. We've exposed this in the mobile web browser, and you can expose it in Salesforce One. So let's say I'm going to a local office. I came over from San Francisco. I forgot my badge. I only have my phone. I don't know who to call. I can go into that concierge app. I can search in the search bar for my badge, and it'll surface relevant information intelligently based on what I need and what I require. So that's my view as an employee. Shane, I know you work in our IT department, so tell me a little bit about, as someone who works in IT, what's your view of me and all the users who are searching in an app like Concierge?
Well, Dylan, if we look in the desktop version of Salesforce, because this is built on the power of the platform, we get a lot of data. So these are knowledge articles, and all of the searches that users are doing in that Concierge app become part of Salesforce reporting. So I can see how many users are searching each day, metrics about the usage of our app, and what they're searching for. And we even have a report here to look at what people are searching for that they're not finding any results. So this lets us know where we have holes in our knowledge base.
Great. So I see refer a friend at the top. People want to refer new candidates to our company. So rather than create a knowledge article, maybe we should build them a quick app to go ahead and refer a new candidate into our company. I know there's a huge developer gap. Let's find some developers today. So typically that would take a bit of time, maybe dev test with Q&A, and you'd have an app for me maybe in 8 months to prototype. How long would that take, and how far are you with Salesforce now?
Well, because we built this on Salesforce, I did a little prototyping in advance. Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
All right. One of the first things that we ran into as we started prototyping this was HR said, hey, all of our jobs, we store them in Workday. And a lot of our other companies would store them in things like SuccessFactors. So we don't want to bring that data into Salesforce and recreate the schema and recreate all the data. So what I did is I set up an external data source here, and I called it Workday. And we've imported 2 tables, and the most important one here is our jobs table. And so this external object, if we take a look at it, it looks like an object that we built in Salesforce, but you can see all of these fields that were created are exactly they're exactly set up the way they are in our external system. And that gives us all the agility that we get in Salesforce. So for example, if I click on our page layout, I can take actions right from the job. So if you meet someone and you know the job you want to refer them for, I can just drag this button on here. And when I click Save, now our users will have access to that button. Do you want to see what it looks like for the end users?
Yes, let's have a look.
All right.
So this is the view that an end user would have when they're going through the recruiting process?
Yep. When you click on the Jobs tab, it looks like these are Salesforce records. We can sort them and filter them and do everything. But we're actually going and asking Workday for this data in real time and bringing it in. Here's one of those developer jobs that you said we needed to hire more of. These are the details that come from Workday. And here's that refer button. So if you meet a good developer, you can just click the refer button and put their information in, and now we've got them captured.
So I think it's great, and we've got a form here, but I'm here at a conference. There's potential developers, people who we might want to hire today. What if I only have my phone? How much additional work is it going to take to move this app onto my mobile device?
Well, the good thing about this being on Salesforce is that we already built it. All those customizations we just did on the desktop are now available on our phone. Let's take a look at that. So this is the Salesforce One App. And a lot of our users are already carrying this around because they use it for things like accounts and cases and contacts. But if I click on More and scroll down, here's that Jobs tab that we just looked at. And if I click on All Jobs, there's the jobs that we just looked at on the desktop. And here's that senior developer job. And if you look in the bottom left corner, I've got this purple button to refer someone. So that same form that we saw is available right there on your phone. I actually met a guy earlier named Bo Mangles that I thought would be a pretty fantastic hire. So I'm going to save his information here. And now a referral is created.
That looks great. So we've seen a referral and recruiting app. It comes all the way to the phone. What does it look like for the recruiters on the back end? Are they being overwhelmed after a few weeks with a bunch of job recruits showing up in a huge list that they have to manage inside of Salesforce?
There definitely is a huge list there. It looks like right now we've got about 25 referrals in progress. So one of the things that we wanted to do for our group was to take this and change it to our Kanban view. So because we're running this in Lightning, we can see everyone who's in here, all the referrals, and which statuses they're in. So if I click on Bo, this is that referral that you created. Another thing that we have, besides just the referrals and the jobs, is all of their interview feedback scores. So as we're interviewing people, we have our related lists of their strengths as they were scored here. And so to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to edit the page. And this opens up Lightning App Builder. And one of the things that we can do is drag a report chart onto our page layout. I'm going to put it here. And now we're going to combine 2 things, the referrals, which live in Salesforce, and the scores, which live in our HR system. So by pointing this at our referrals report and filtering it by this candidate, we can now see the scores quickly and easily, make our hiring decisions even faster.
Perfect. So there's only one last thing I want to do and want to know. I referred this candidate. I hear there's a bonus for technical candidates after they get hired. I'm going to pick up the phone and give a call to the recruiters to say, hey, how far into this is my candidate? What's the status today?
Well, right now, we've made Bo an offer. But HR definitely wouldn't want to get your phone call, and they probably don't want to get phone calls from everyone who submits a referral to keep up with that. So another thing that Salesforce lets us do besides create UIs and store data is to automate a lot of business processes. So this is a process builder that I had created earlier. So when your referral comes in, you'll get an immediate thank you notification. But we also want to send an invite to Bo and other candidates that get referred so they can go to our external job board and apply. That's running on Heroku, but we'll just send them the link to the job that you referred them for. But it sounds like what we want to do is to create an action here so that when someone gets hired, we're going to update the person that made the referral. So we'll just say when the referrer gets to the status of hired, then we'll do a quick notification.
Great. So we're creating a notification, and that notification goes to who? To the job applicant or to me?
To you.
Great. So let's go ahead and finish that out. Let's save it, and let's go ahead and take our candidate, Bo, and move him. We liked him. We interviewed him. We moved him to the final stage. Let's give him an offer, and let's say that he's hired.
Great.
What does that experience look like inside of the application?
Let's bring up the phone so we can see both of these things happening at the same time. So I'm going to drag Bo from here in the middle on our Kanban board to the hired column. And that process that we just activated should fire, and you'll get your chatter notification there in Salesforce.
So there we go. So we've taken a candidate, we walked them all the way through the process, we've hired them, we've created it all in a mobile application and a desktop application, all running on top of Salesforce, end to end. So that's just one example of an employee engagement app you can build on top of Salesforce. And with that, I'd like to pass it back to Shannon to bring us home.
Thanks, guys. All right. OK, so you saw the platform advantage, and now we want to challenge you. We want you, if you have an idea for an app, you saw one great example, come by our booth and tell our experts what kind of app you want to build for your business, and we will show you how you can do it for the platform. So I want to thank everyone. Come visit us at any of these places around the campground and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.